Okay, so I watched the Star Wars Episode 9 trailer, and I have some very mixed thoughts about this film in general and this trailer. In particular, the title, The Rise of Skywalker. First of all, I have two questions about that title. The first one is, the Skywalkers already rose, right? Twice. In the prequels, you had the rise of Anakin Skywalker, and in the original trilogy, you had the rise of Luke Skywalker. So what does the rise of Skywalker in this title mean? First of all, to me, on first reading the title, it sounded really like something that fans would have come up with for like an episode 7 title. It really just feels really fan-made to me. It doesn't feel like a proper Star Wars title. It doesn't feel like it has the gravitas like the other titles of Star Wars do, except for Attack of the Clones. But okay, the title of Episode 9 is The Rise of Skywalker, so what could that possibly mean? Well, a few things. It could mean that J.J. Abrams is indeed changing what they established in The Last Jedi with Rey, and that Rey is indeed a Skywalker, which I hope they don't do. No matter if you like what they did with Rey in The Last Jedi or not, that's what was said. I don't think Kylo was lying to her. I think because she says it herself, she already knows the truth. That's been established. I hope they don't retcon it and make Rey a Skywalker. The other option here is obviously the title could be referring to Ben Kylo Ren because he is a Skywalker lineage. Although his last name is Solo, so to me it doesn't really make sense, but it does sort of, because technically Kylo Ren is a Skywalker. The other possibility here is it could be referring to Luke or to Leia. One of the two, we don't know, but I did see an interesting idea get suggested that the rise of Skywalker actually refers to the past, and Episode 9 is going to connect the dots between Phantom Menace and this movie and really dive into, well, how did Anakin Skywalker come to be in the first place? That's a theory that I'm kind of buying into because that makes more sense to me for this title. But look, am I that keen on the title itself? No. Does the title make or break what the movie's going to be? No, it doesn't. And I think this is going to be the best of the new trilogy because, as I'll get into in a second, I really like this trailer. I'm not so keen on the title. It just doesn't sit right with me. But then again, The Force Awakens, when I first heard that title, didn't sit right with me either. Neither did The Last Jedi. So given some time, maybe I'll come around to this title. So let's talk about the trailer. I loved this trailer. First of all, the shot with Rey standing there in the desert, Kylo Ren's TIE fighter speeding towards her. She does that awesome Jedi backflip over the back of it. That was awesome to see, that Rey has obviously been studying those Jedi texts that she stole from the tree in The Last Jedi and has really upped her game and upped her skills in her Jedi-ness. And also that shot of Kylo Ren taking out those dudes in the forest, that looked absolutely awesome. I think this movie's going to be absolutely bonkers and full of just Star Wars action. And we have to talk about, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about Palpatine. Good old Uncle Palpatine coming back to the Star Wars universe. I have some mixed feelings about Palpatine coming back. On the one hand, I'm very intrigued and I'm very curious, and it's made me more excited for Episode 9 knowing that Palpatine is now going to be back in some form or another. The idea, though, of bringing back Palpatine, I'm not so keen on, only because to me, Palpatine, it was finished in Return of the Jedi. That was it. It was done. Leave it alone. Let's move on to other things. The fact that we have to keep going back to Palpatine, I don't know, to me it just kind of undermines the threat of, say, a Kylo Ren or even a Snoke. If Palpatine comes back, I'm not really sure how I feel about it. But remember, Palpatine did tell Anakin that he knew how to cheat death, so maybe Palpatine did in fact know how to cheat death and he wasn't just lying to Anakin, and he did in fact cheat death and survive that fall on the Death Star. And we do see a shot in the trailer of Rey and Poe and Finn looking out at something in the water that did look like wreckage from the Death Star, which that looks very intriguing to me, and that's obviously where Palpatine's body, you assume, would be. Now, I'm not going to get too upset about the idea of Palpatine coming back or not coming back or how he comes back, because again, we don't know how he comes back. We don't know the context of it. So in context, Palpatine coming back in Episode 9 could be the best thing Star Wars has ever done, or we could see it and go, oh, that didn't really work. And it could be one of the worst things they've ever done, but it just depends on how they use him. I just hope that they're not just bringing him back for the sake of bringing him back, and that it makes sense to Star Wars lore in general. Okay, I wanted to touch on Lando Calrissian coming back for Episode 9. This was news that when it first got announced made me very happy, because I was a little confused. Why wasn't Lando in The Force Awakens? And especially after Han Solo gets killed, why the hell wasn't Lando in The Last Jedi? Just made more sense for Lando to be back in The Last Jedi, but clearly they found a way to bring him back for The Rise of Skywalker. Again, I'm not really sure about that title. But it was awesome seeing Lando piloting the Millennium Falcon with Chewbacca in this trailer. I'm not really sure why they chose to have Lando wear the same costume he wore in Solo. Why a grown man would wear the exact same clothes he wore when he was like in his 20s. I don't understand that. Maybe that, I don't know. It's like you couldn't find another costume for Lando? Really? You just reusing that? Okay. So that confused me a little bit, but I love the fact that Lando's back, and I love the fact that they showed him in this trailer. That was awesome. And also Carrie Fisher. We weren't sure how they were going to work in this unused footage of her, but that one shot of her hugging Rey, it looks pretty seamless, and it really just felt like, no, Carrie shot this movie, and that's her there. It was a very brief moment, but it didn't feel at all like, ooh, that composite didn't look right. No, it actually looked pretty good. So there you go, that's my thoughts on the Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker teaser trailer. What do you guys think? Jump down in the comments section below. Let me know what you think about good old Uncle Palpy coming back. Let me know what you think about the title. Is it a good title? Is it a bad title? What do you think? So make sure you leave a comment in the comment section below. Remember, hit that subscribe button, ring that notifications bell so that you never miss out on my take on all things movies. My name is Tom. Thank you very much for watching, and may the Force be with you always.